And here we are for another interview, and we are with
Hynes.
Say, what kind of artist are you?
I would say I'm a conglomeration-inspired artist.
Yes.
I love dabbling in just about anything that I can get my hands on.
Such as?
Music. My mom started me on violin and piano when I was 3 years old, so music has been a big influence in my life. I became interested in acting in elementary school. I've been drawing probably since I started to learn how to pick crayons out of a box. I recently have been doing a lot of stunts and stilt work and athletic work in shows. I like painting, I love dancing. It's much more fun than walking. Speaking of which, something that's way more fun than walking is sliding down stair rails. I don't know why people actually walk downstairs when they have rails that you can slide down. That's one of my favorite things to do.
You're such a free spirit, aren't you? And did you mention you play the violin?
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah. I play, let's see, over the years, I've become, I guess you could say, competent in violin, viola, cello, bass, piano, organ, guitar, singing, once upon a time flute, percussion, more random percussion instruments. So yes, I would love to learn how to play every string instrument in the world, like all the old Chinese string instruments and Japanese string instruments. It'd be really neat to learn. My sister spent a year and a half in Brazil, and there was an instrument that they play there. I can't even remember what it's called, but it has a string and you kind of slide your fingers on it. And I think that's another thing that's interesting too, is instruments that are made of completely different materials, like jug band type instruments. I think that'd be really fun to learn how to do. Like, I really need to learn how to play the spoons.
So I have a question. So you're creative and all these different things, do you think that it was a kind of a personality and internal creativity that led you to enjoy all these things and explore that aspect of creativity, or do you think it was like you were a creative, unique individual, and it led to your interest in these forms? Like, did the art make you more creative, or did your creativity individually lead to all these arts?
Like I said, you're asking the nature versus nurture question. Yes. I actually believe in both. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a family where my parents encouraged me to do anything that I wanted to try. They were very interested in focusing on the artistic aspects of life, but they were also very adamant about us doing our homework, our math and our science. We always had to do sports growing up, me and all of my siblings. So I think, you make great faces behind that camera. I think that a lot of it had to do with the fact that when I grew up, my parents had a very nurturing environment. I think that I came with a natural love of it, and I think that if you have a natural interest and a natural love in the arts or in anything creative or anything scientific, anything athletic, whatever interests you, you can find a way to do it. A lot of people talk about natural talent, like, oh, she's so naturally gifted, oh, he's so naturally talented, he's just a natural athlete. Okay, well, the athletic one might be legitimate because that comes down to DNA and actual genetics, how they make your body be put together. But I think if anybody can learn to be good at anything, and anybody can love and cultivate and nurture anything. So I really do think it's both. I think a lot of it was the way that I grew up. It was, we were encouraged to be creative, we were encouraged to experience, explore, and discover art. I think a lot of it too was just, Yes, something inside of me, the natural love of it.
Now, you've been, we went to dinner tonight and you were talking about all the things you were doing earlier, and I was like, I gotta do a video, and then I was thinking, you know, like, she's so creative, even just in the way that she kind of acts and does things, and she's got all these other interests. I said, now, you could put the camera in her hand and she could end up being a great photographer.
That'd be fun.
But you have to have, like, the passion that really makes you work at it. You have to really enjoy it and love it.
That's why I said anybody can love anything, and anybody could be talented or gifted naturally, but what it comes down to is hard work. If I wanted to be a photographer, sure, maybe I have a keener eye because of my upbringing or because of my experience already in the art world, but I don't know the first thing about photography, about working the mechanics of the camera, about lighting, about getting those good shots. And if I wanted to do something like that, I would have to work very hard at it.
Yeah.
I think that's true with anything. I know some things come to some people more naturally than they might come to others. But everything worth doing, everything worth enjoying requires dedication.
Yeah.
It really does. And it requires hard work. It requires energy. What you put into something, you will get out of it, especially when it comes to art.
So, you have some art. Where can they see this art? Either you're performing, or you're singing, or you're acting, or wherever.
Currently,
TV show, because basically, right now we are in a garage
basement
of
in
LA Live.
Well, I just moved out to LA 6 months ago. I'm from Seattle originally. I love Seattle. It's an amazing culture for art, for science, for business, for athletics, for nature, for the outdoors. It's a beautiful place, and I'm so fortunate that I got to grow up in Seattle and in Washington. I've spent the past couple of years living in Utah and Idaho, and most recently Orlando down in Florida, working for the theme parks down there, doing all kinds of different things. And I just moved out here 6 months ago to start up my performing career in a bit bigger of a lake. I don't know if I'm in pond status anymore. I think this is most decidedly at least a very large lake, if not an ocean. And I'm learning the big fish, little fish syndrome very quickly. But it's exciting, it's adventurous. Where can you see my work? You can befriend me on Facebook. That's always a good start. I'm actually working. Say, like S-A-Y space. J-Y space. And then Hynes sounds like the ketchup, which is cool because I've got the red hair going on, but it's spelled a little bit differently. H with a Y. N-E-S. So look me up on Facebook. Another thing that you can do is look up the band that I'm currently playing with on Facebook.
Oh yeah, you didn't even mention the fact that you're in a band as part of your art. Yeah.
They're called Vagrant Nation. It's kind of a little bit punk, a little bit rock, a little bit Celtic, a little bit bluegrass, and a whole lot of fun.
And what do you do?
I play the fiddle in it and I sing. But I'm hoping to be able to add more instruments. It's more fun for me the more instruments I get to play. So you can look up my band. We do a lot of shows all over the LA area. Most recently I've been working at theme parks down in Orlando, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and Disney, so I've done a lot down there that's photo documented. I'm working on creating my own website right now, so hopefully that'll be up and running. sayjhynes.org or something like that. I should probably actually know my website name. And let's see, I've filmed a couple independent films out here, some of them that are going to be going to some film festivals. Actually, tomorrow I have a rehearsal for this amazing film that I'm about to start working on next week that I really hope will go somewhere because it's a beautiful story. It's called Sam's Story, and it's absolutely fantastic. So, some independent films that are being shown around the area and that will hopefully become bigger. That's always the dream. And let's see, I do photo shoots and modeling here and there. I don't know, like I said, I'm a dabbler. I get my fingers in anything that I can get my fingers in.
We understand. We got you now. We got a good idea.
Good.
Yay. Okay, so we're going to end with a come into the video.
Oh, me come in here?
So that's it from LA Live in California.
The basement, the garage basement in LA Live.
Yay.
We're posh here, very posh.
Say goodbye.
From Scott JARVIE
Me.
and say J. Hynes.
Her.